Hey folks, and now we're going to be talking about glu- gluten free. Gluten free. So we're up to 131. 131 vocabulary lesson. And so now, gluten free. It's very important to know, okay? So, a gluten free diet excludes any foods that contain gluten, which is a protein found in wheat and several other grains. It means eating only whole foods that don't contain gluten, such as fruits, vegetables, meat, and eggs, as well as processed gluten-free foods like gluten-free bread or pasta. Nutrition and healthy eating. Gluten-free diet. To follow a gluten-free diet, you must avoid wheat and some other grains, while choosing substitutes that provide nutrients for a healthy diet. Gluten-free means it doesn't have any gluten in it. Yogurt I had for breakfast was gluten-free. Gluten is a structural protein naturally found in certain cereal grains, although, strictly speaking, gluten only refers to wheat proteins. In medical literature, it refers to the combination of prolamine. What is gluten? Celiac disease foundation. Gluten is a general name for the proteins found in wheat, rye, barley, and triticale, a cross between. What is gluten and why is it bad? Gluten is a protein found in many grains, including wheat, barley, and rye. It's common in foods such as bread, pasta, pizza, and cereal. Gluten provides no essential nutrients. People with celiac disease have an immune reaction that is triggered by eating gluten. What does gluten do to your body? Most people can handle the undigested gluten with no problems. But in some people, gluten can trigger a severe autoimmune response or other unpleasant symptoms. An autoimmune response to gluten is called celiac disease. Celiac can damage the small intestine. Processed foods that often contain gluten: beer, ale, porter, stout, usually contain barley, which is breads, bulgur wheat, cakes and pies, candles, cereals, communion wafers, cookies and crackers. What exactly is gluten? What is gluten? Gluten is a protein naturally found in some grains, including wheat, barley, barley, and rye. It acts like a binder, whatever. binder, holding food together and adding a stretchy quality. Think of a pizza maker tossing and stretching out a ball of dough. Without gluten, the dough would rip easily. How do I know if I'm gluten intolerant? You may have a gluten intolerance if you get sick after eating gluten, a type of protein. You might feel tired, nauseous, or bloated. Another name for gluten intolerance is non-celiac gluten sensitivity, NCGS. Does gluten cause weight gain? No. Gluten is in carbohydrates, and if you limit the total amount of carbohydrates, whether they contain gluten or not, you should not gain weight. Weight gain comes from eating too many calories and not enough exercise to burn off the excess calories. EXCESS. Gluten is a protein in wheat that some people are allergic to. Does milk have gluten? I don't know. Gluten-free foods. Safe to eat. If you have celiac disease, COELIAC, you can eat the following foods which naturally do not contain gluten. Most dairy products such as cheese, butter, and milk, fruits, and vegetables. Does a potato have gluten? Potatoes in their raw form do not contain any gluten and are therefore perfectly suitable for celiacs, COELIACS, and anyone with special dietary needs. What you do need to be careful about is how they are prepared, as any additional ingredients used could contain gluten, providing a back door for them. Gluten-free is a food or diet not containing gluten. I am watching my weight, so I eat gluten-free. Gluten-free of food or diet not containing gluten. Maria made Brandon some organic gluten-free pasta. Gluten-free means something does not have the certain protein that gives an elastic texture. The bread is gluten-free. Gluten-free is also usually more expensive. Gluten-free means healthy and good nutrition. Sarah R. Sarah, whatever. Whoever Sarah is. Gluten-free is food that does not contain gluten. The organic gluten-free pasta is delicious. So the gluten-free foods here, which is sweet potato tortilla chips, rice, and quinoa, polenta, fresh meat, fresh fish, butter and vegetable oils, plain potatoes, plain nuts and seeds, and vinegars. Foods to avoid on a gluten-free diet. Battered and breaded foods, bread, biscuits, pizza, pastries, and cakes, bulgur wheat, chapatis, couscous, whatever how you pronounce it, COUSCOUS, English mustard, muesli and granola, MUESLI, wheat pasta and noodles, semolina, soy sauce, teramasalata. Wow. Okay. Gluten-free diet. A gluten-free diet is a nutritional plan that strictly excludes gluten, which is a mixture of proteins found in wheat as well as barley, rye, and oats types, grains, starches, or flours that can be part of a gluten-free diet include amaranth, AMARANTH, arrowroot, buckwheat, corn, cornmeal, grits, and polenta labeled gluten-free, flax, Gluten-free flours, rice, soy, corn, potato, and bean flours. Hominy, corn, Hominy, corn. Millet, the rice. Yes, all rice in its natural form is gluten-free. This includes brown rice, white rice, wild rice, and rice flour. Even Asian or sticky rice, also called glutinous rice, is gluten-free despite its name. Eggs. Yes, eggs are naturally gluten-free. Protein. Gluten-free proteins. Legumes, beans, lentils, peas, peanuts, nuts and seeds. Red meat. Fresh beef, pork, lamb, bison. Bison there. Bison. Poultry, fresh chicken, turkey, seafood, fresh fish, scallops, shellfish. Unflavored soy foods, tofu, tempeh, Tempeh, edamame, edamame, etc. Those words are so new. Is gluten-free Is gluten-free healthy? On Google it says, keep in mind that some processed gluten-free foods contain high amounts of unhealthy ingredients, such as sodium, sugar, and fat. Consuming these foods can lead to weight gain, blood sugar swings, high blood pressure, and other problems. So a gluten-free label doesn't necessarily make a food healthy. Okay, that's strange. I thought it does. Oh well. Do bananas have gluten? Foods made from wheat have the highest amounts of gluten. However, wheat flour is also commonly added to foods, so it's important to read nutrition labels. If you are avoiding gluten, this includes all types of bread unless labeled gluten-free, such as rolls, buns, bagels, biscuits, and flour tortillas. Alright folks, that's it. The lesson is over, but I'm going to do the next video.